Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Evernote. Evernote is a program that is amazing and I can't even hope to cover all of the wonderful things that you can do with this program in a short video. But what I do want to do is I want to give you the basics and give you sort of an overview, and hopefully that way you can see how to apply it to your own teaching and your own life, because it is a program that can make your life a whole lot easier. So what Evernote does is it is a way to create, collect, organize, and find information in the form of notes. And it's really exceptional at doing this, and it can do a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. And what it basically amounts to is an electronic extension of your brain. You can put all of these notes, all of these things that normally would live in your head or on a piece of paper somewhere, I suppose, and you can digitize them and you can make them very easy to organize and find. So as I show you this, what you're going to need to do is look for possibilities as to how you could use it. I'm going to show you some of the basics, and then I'm going to show you how I use it as a teacher. And I hope that by doing that, you'll be able to figure out how to use it in your own life and figure out some great ways that it will make your own life a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a little window, and we're just going to go to evernote.com and we're going to sign up. And I'm going to do this because they changed the way it looks, essentially. So I'm going to sign up with a new account, and that way I can show you how to sort of navigate this a little bit better, because the way they did it right now, it's really not friendly to beginners, and I don't know why they did it that way, but they did it that way. So first thing you should know is this is a cloud-based program, meaning it exists online in the cloud, but there's also a desktop application. But as it says, it's available on all devices. So you can download it for Mac, you can download it for Windows, you can download it on your iOS phone, your Android phone, whatever. And that's what I really like about it, is it's seamless across all these different systems. So as this sets up here, I'm just going to say I've been using Evernote for a long time, and actually this new account set it up correctly. So I thought I was going to have to change something, but I don't. So this is, they say a new version of Evernote. I wouldn't mess with that. But what you have here is you have the online shell. Now you also see that it says get premium for free. I don't know what they might be running a special on that, but there's a free version of this and there's a version you pay for. The free version is amazing, and I used the free version for a long time. But once you use it so much, you're like, yeah, I understand why someone would want to use this more. So you basically have three tabs here. You have a list of things on the left. These are your notebooks. You see first notebook. You have all notes. We don't have any notes. And then you have a note window. But let's go ahead and we can create a notebook. I can create a new notebook. Let's just call this test notebook. Call this test notebook. Now you can also move these notebooks around so that you can create notebook stacks, so that you have a big stack of notebooks and then things are within it, and that's kind of important. But let's say I want to create my first note. Now a note can be pretty much anything. It can be a lot of different things. You'll notice you can even attach things. You can attach files. I'll get to that in a minute. But basically you have a title, then you have a body of some sort. Now there's all these different formatting things. You can change the font, the size. You can add in little check boxes and reminders, stuff like that. Notice how it's, every time I do something, it's saving up into the cloud. That way it syncs. You can also add in reminders. You can also open notes in a new window. You can also share them. So you can do a lot of different things. But the coolest thing, I think, with Evernote is the tags. So if I tag this as test, I could tag this as FHSU. Then if I created another notebook, or another note, sorry, then I added this tag FHSU. That means what I could do is I could search for this FHSU tag, and this is a little bit harder online, but all filters, I could search for that tag. So I hope you guys kind of understand tags. I'll show you how to do a little bit better with tags in a second. But basically now you have in this notebook, you have these two different notes, right? So I hope that you understand how to use these notes. Now, these are just notes that nobody would want, so you can always delete them if you don't want them. But I'm going to go ahead and flip over to mine. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my Evernote, because I think that you'll be able to see how it works a little bit better. So sorry, I'm going to go over here. So here is my online Evernote. And there's also, I've actually created a few example notes, but you can see that mine's a lot more complicated. I have shortcuts to notebooks. I have a lot of notebooks, and I have a lot of notes, and I have way too many tags. I've got like 2,000 tags or something because I didn't know what I was doing whenever I first started doing this. And I have a whole bunch of reminders as well. You can see reminders for course assignments and everything like that. So that's how it looks for me online. I'm actually going to open up the desktop version of this because it'll allow me to navigate a little bit easier and really show you what this can do. I'm much more familiar with it using it as a desktop application as well. So here we go. I have all these notes. This is the desktop application. You notice that there's a sync button so that I can sync it with the cloud. And it's done, and it'll have all that stuff. So the first thing I really want to show you is just the power of the search, right? So I'm in my all notes, but I can filter by tag, and I have a lot of different tags. But if I have tags set up for like Macbeth, so I teach a unit on Macbeth, I can search that tag. Whoops. And I have every note that I've tagged with Macbeth for whatever reason, right? I have No Fear Shakespeare, Macbeth, etc. And you'll notice that this is actually a PDF. You can actually put, and this might be a premium version, but you can just put in PDFs and you can read PDFs that way, which is pretty awesome. So that's just a tag. I mean, I'll just to give a better example, I have a food. I have all my recipes in here. So if I search the recipe, if I search for the tag pork, I'll pull up with every pork recipe that I have in my Evernote, which is pretty sweet as well. Makes things pretty easy. I could even search for pork, and then I could search for, I could say like delicious. So I'm searching in my food notebook for the tag pork with the word delicious, and it kind of narrows it down a little bit more. So you can see how that works in a very easy way. You can even extend the search a little bit broader. So sometimes what I used Evernote for is documentation. I'll have an incident with a student, and I will type something up in Evernote, and I'll keep it in Evernote. That way I know I can find it again if I need it. So if I search for Maritza, I have these 2 fake notes on Maritza. Now it also shows the day it was created, the day it was updated, which can be helpful for documentation reasons. So that's kind of it. I think that that's the basics of notes and tags and search. I do want to cover a few other things though. So, whoops, didn't mean to click that. So if I do this, if I create a new note, it can do more than just text, like I said before, and I messed with the window to show you this. If you click this, you can attach files. You can also attach audio recordings as well. So it's great to organize audio recordings. So what I want to do is I want to show you even the power of search. If I search, I'm going to search for this word that I knew I would not be anywhere in here. If I search for the word pamplemousse, whoops, it's going to bring up this. Now this, the word pamplemousse isn't on here, but the word pamplemousse is actually inside of this document. If I opened up this document, it would show me the word pamplemousse. Evernote will search not only your notes, but all the files that you attach to your notes as well, which is really, really handy, because what I've started doing is I've started putting in all of my attachments, assignments, etc. into Evernote to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my last, I keep all my lesson plans in here by week. Now you can see that I have these, and they're not really full lesson plans. I just sort of what we did. But what I do is I attach the Word files in there as necessary. So on Wednesday, we did this, and I used this document. This makes it really helpful because now I know exactly what I did on that day, and I have that Word document right there to use. Bing, bing, boom. I don't need to see, oh, I have this note here that said I did this, and I don't have to go look for the file. You know, if I was keeping a paper notebook, it would say I used this file, and then I'd have to go find it on my computer. With Evernote, it's right there, and it's searchable because I paid for the premium stuff, and that makes it a little bit easier. Now, I do want to show you one last thing with this, and I think this is very important, is I want to show you the Evernote Web Clipper. The Evernote Web Clipper is probably one of the most useful tools I've ever discovered, and it exists as a web extension. So I hope you're familiar with web extensions. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up a new window here, and this is what I do. I find news articles for my students all the time, and so I use articles a lot. So I found this article, and let's say I wanted to keep this article for some reason. I wanted to show it to my students later. I thought it might be of some use. And it doesn't have to be an article. This could be anything. This could be a lesson plan online, any sort of thing online that you want to keep. if you have Evernote, you need to download the Evernote web extension. I recommend Chrome. I think the Evernote web extension for Chrome works the best. So I have this web clipper. So I can clip this article, and I have several different options for how I can make it look. I have the article. I have the simplified article. It strips everything away. I can highlight things to make myself jump out of them. I can do the full page, a bookmark. I could even do a screenshot, which is really cool. I can take the part that I want, and then I can actually draw on it, and I can even blur things out. I mean, it's pretty intense. So you can do a lot of different things. But if I clip this, I don't want to do the screenshot. Sorry, I always forget to get out of the screenshot mode. Anyway, if I have this article, I can tell myself that this is going to be going in my, let's just say I'll put it in my, I can just put it in my FHSU notebook, right? My general FHSU notebook, and I can make the tag FHSU. I'll take AOW. I'll say Evernote. All right. So whenever I save this, it'll clip and it'll sync to the cloud. So it'll say clipping and syncing. So this means it's saving to the cloud. So we'll just kind of give it a second there. I know this is always painful whenever it takes a little while to do this, but I want to do this in real time. I just wish my internet was just a little bit faster today, because we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. Usually it doesn't take this long. Usually it's pretty darn speedy. Usually it says syncs right away and I close out the tab. It's a little bit worrisome for it to be taking this long. I hope it doesn't mess up my example. I'm actually going to go ahead and flip back over. It'll finish here in a second. I'll flip back over because you see on this left side, I have all these different notebooks, and actually I have this tag, this AOW tag. And what the AOW tag for me is all these articles that I found online that I think will be beneficial to my students in some way or the other. We usually read one news article a week. So I have all these different things that I think I could use. I can tag them, and I can tag them by subject. So I know that this one it's an article that I might use. I know it's about agriculture, and I actually say to read because it shows that I haven't read it yet, and that makes my life a little bit easier. But if I sync this, maybe we'll see this little thing change right here, because it's pretty cool when it does, if it's working. I'm not really sure what my internet's doing right now. So we'll kind of wait for that to work. And I also wanted to show you that I said you can use pictures, but if I scroll back up here, give you a picture example. Like if you have Evernote on your phone, you can take a picture of a business card or whatever, or any student work, anything that you need to save. You can also, it also has a document scanning. This is actually just a page of a book, and you can see it really cleaned it up to make it look like a document, which is pretty awesome. So I definitely recommend that you explore with that and figure out how to use that. It seems like something's going wrong with my internet, and I don't know why. So I'm actually just going to sort of stop this video here. I hope that you see and understand the possibilities of Evernote and what it can do. Actually, here it is. Here's the new note that's just kind of updated. And it's hard to read because my screen is so shrunk down to do these screencasts. But I hope that you can understand the power of Evernote and what you can do. I mean, you can do anything from collecting great quotes and great words for your students, to lesson plans, to your own personal stuff. I track so much of my own personal stuff in Evernote that it's hard to even imagine a life without it. So I hope you get online. I hope you explore with Evernote. There's so many tutorials. There's so many things you can do. Sign up for an account. Start messing around. Start using the web clipper to collect things for your classes, lesson plans, assignments, whatever. Use it to attach files and keep your life organized. I know that as a teacher, it's very hard to stay on top of all the little pieces of information that you have. And Evernote, it allows me to do that easily, and I hope it will for you too. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one.